This is The Filter on iHeart Podcasts Canada.
Hey, it's Ruby and Shannon, and we're here to talk about the Grammys.
The Grammys, the biggest night in music happened last night, and it was such a memorable show, don't you think?
Yes, it was so memorable, starting with the red carpet.
Yes.
Can we talk about Jaden Smith for a
That
minute?
was the first red carpet photo I saw of the entire night, and I thought, what are we in for, and what is happening here?
I honestly didn't want to see any other photos. I was
No.
like, nope, Jaden Smith wearing a castle on his head is all I'm accepting at this time. So
Do
thank
we
you.
know if he explained like any sort of meaning behind it, or do we just don't even?
I saw some sort of guesses as to what it might be, but he just wore it. And then I love that when they panned to him during the Grammys, he still had it on inside. Imagine having to sit next to him or like behind him. You're like, Jaden, like, can you remove your castle? I can't see.
I was thinking that with Chappell's like dome hat
Yes.
that she wore at one point. I was like, anyone that sat behind her when after she put that on is probably like, I have to look past this. But Willow Smith was on the red carpet too. She looked absolutely fantastic.
Yes, she looked incredible.
Yeah, there was a lot of good red carpet looks. I noticed a lot of silvers and grays. Like a lot. That was kind of the color of the year.
I thought Sabrina Carpenter looked great. She's always very like bringing the Hollywood glam, and I think
Totally.
it suits her so well. So I thought that dress was like it was made for her. It was just like that was
As
that
I'm
was
sure it was.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Chappell looked incredible as well. She had a few outfit changes throughout the night, but it was
Yes.
all very like Chappell
Very subtle.
themed. Yeah, very subtle, very demure, very mindful. But yeah, there were so many great, incredible looks. Taylor Swift had like a little jewelry thigh thing going on.
Yes. Okay. So the tee. The thing about the tee was, I saw one post that was like, "Oh, it's like wearing your boyfriend's Letterman jacket," and I was like, "Well, her name is Taylor."
Yeah, so maybe it's for both.
I was like, I feel like, I don't know, the Taylor Swift narrative. I feel like it's Taylor.
I don't know. At first I thought, oh, Travis. And then I was like, wait, same thing. Oh,
Yeah.
that's Taylor or Taylor's version. She likes, yeah.
Maybe I think she would have gone both letters if it was for Travis, just to
Oh,
make
just
it
to make it
really
known.
like that's what this is.
Right, we
But that
do-
also would have been strange.
We do want you to weigh in as well on our broadcast channel on Instagram. That is where you can see so much behind the scenes. We have polls, all that fun stuff. So if you want to weigh in on that, go to our broadcast channel on Instagram. One look that was quite questionable at the carpet last night was Kanye West and his wife Bianca.
Well, I was annoyed by the whole thing because when I came in today, I was going to wear this shirt with nothing on underneath. And then I was like, well, she already did it now. So
Bianca stole your
annoying. Now it's going to look like I copied her.
Yeah, that was a definitely questionable choice from her. We did kind of expect it because she loves to go out with little to nothing on. And that was really the definition of little to nothing because it was a sheer dress that was so sheer that you couldn't even tell that she was wearing a dress.
Well, and then the rumor was that they were kicked out.
Yeah.
But then I saw an updated post to that was like, no, they just did the red carpet and left, which
And left.
actually sounds more true to me.
I know, totally. And it wouldn't make sense for them to not have been invited, like reports are saying,
Yes.
because he was nominated for an award. So I feel like that grants you an invitation to the Grammys. But yeah, it does
Yeah.
make sense that he would just be like, we're just here to take a photo and then we're going to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get into the show.
Yes. So the show starts and Trevor Noah sets up the fact that they're going to be doing tributes to LA, which makes a lot of sense. I wondered how it was going to affect the mood of the night, but I thought it was hopeful. Like, I don't know. I thought it was quite nice. I think they did it respectfully. The opening band was Dawes. Two of the members had their houses burned down, and they're still trying to raise money for other families that are going through the same thing. And then Trevor Noah joked that if anyone went over 90 seconds, they would have to pay $1,000 a second. I thought that was funny. And they gave up some of their advertising time to small businesses in LA. Some of those commercials were so good.
So sweet. They were just such little like packaged, PSAs on different businesses that lost so much to the fire. So, and then they had little cameos from different celebrities
Yes.
in the videos, which was so, I thought that was just such a great way to do it and highlight those businesses.
I want them to just do it every year. Like when the martial arts instructor flipped over Charlie Puth, I was like, yes, we need more of this every year. Keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely. I do love when there is something that happens that's so tragic, but people really come together in those times. And you could
Yes.
see that last night. So that was really sweet.
So favorite performances.
Oh, that's a tough choice. Okay, I'm such a huge fan of Chappell Roan, and I have been for a long time. So seeing her perform on that stage, where there's videos of her back in the day when she's just a kid, being like, I just want to win a Grammy. So to see her on the stage,
nice.
she's getting her flowers, like that was just so iconic. That giant pony for Pink Pony Club was so great. I thought Charlie XCX did a really good job with her performance. Doechii. Oh my goodness.
Doechii.
That was insane. I feel like there was some people, like she said in her acceptance speech, that might not be as familiar with her music as others, but that I think just made her a household name right there.
I think there are a few people that after last night are going to have people looking them up. She's one of them. Yeah. Ray is another one.
What is a swamp princess?
Yeah, Ray. Exactly. Ray is another one. She was unbelievable. Sabrina Carpenter, I love how much fun she had.
Yeah.
She did her jazzy rendition of
so
Espresso.
Campy.
It's so campy. I love her. Also, Benson Boone. Can we talk about Benson Boone?
It was so funny. I was watching the Grammys last night with producer Jess. She goes, I wonder if he's going to flip. And then 2 seconds later, he flips. He loves to flip.
He loves to flip. Also, Sabrina Carpenter, Benson Boone, and Doechii were all wearing tearaway clothes. So...
I did notice that. It was a popular theme last night.
It was a theme last night. So I was like, there are 2 things I need to learn to do before tomorrow morning. I need tearaway clothes and I need to be able to flip off of a piano. Spoiler alert, it's not going great.
Okay, we'll check in next year when we meet back here.
Yeah, we'll see in a few minutes when we're done.
Yeah. Who was your favorite performance, though?
So, yeah, Benson Boone was up there. But I got to say, Janelle Monáe.
Oh, yeah.
The Quincy Jones tribute. I thought they did a great job with that because, I mean, Cynthia Erivo was also unbelievable. Like, I could watch her. If she wants to just sing the names in the phone book, I'm gonna watch that. Does the phone book still exist? But yeah, so she was unbelievable. But Janelle Monáe, she was so much fun. She had the crowd in the palm of her hand. You know, she went out into the crowd. She was doing the whole, like, you can tell that she's just been practicing her moonwalk. I thought she was great.
Yeah, it was just such a nice tribute to him, and I'm glad that they took the time to give him that time because Quincy Jones, as we all know, is so important in the music industry and is so responsible for so many songs that we listen to all the time. Yeah. So that was really great. The In Memoriam with Chris Martin was beautiful. Also a great job that he did there. So yeah,
it's not like you can really mix it up.
Yeah.
With that, like, there's going to be a nice song, and we're going to see the faces, and it's a nice moment.
Totally.
So, yes.
But they had an extra moment for Liam Payne, which is really nice. Yep. So that was really sweet. And then there's the winners of the evening. It was Beyonce. Should we start with the big one?
Yes. Let's just go right for it.
Beyonce won Album of the Year.
For the first time.
For the first time. She's been nominated 99 times in total. Has never won Album of the Year. So for her to finally get that is so incredible.
Like, I love that she's been nominated 99 times. She broke the tie she had with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And yeah, for her to finally win Album of the Year. Honestly, when I was getting ready for the Grammys, and I was like, that can't be right. I looked at, like, multiple sources because I was like, no. Yeah. And it was like, no, she won Country Album of the Year.
I know, which was presented to her by Taylor Swift, who won that about 15 years ago. So it was cool to see them on stage together and Kanye not in the room.
Yeah. Like, right? I was like, maybe he's going to come out for some sort of, like, throwback, but I was glad they didn't go in that direction. Yeah. So no, that was great. You know what I was thinking? Sabrina Carpenter, she won her first ever Grammy last night, but in the pre-telecast, do you think there's a little bit of disappointment that comes with, like, it wasn't during the main one?
Well, when she was doing her acceptance speech, she was like, "This is my first Grammy," and then I thought, "It's actually your second Grammy.
It's your second one.
You already won one a few hours ago." So yeah, that I don't know. Maybe it gave her that confidence that she needed or that high that she was already on for when she won. Yeah. And the fact that she did then get to go on stage and give that acceptance speech, I think probably made up for it too. Because if she had just won off stage and that's it, then you don't get to have your big Grammy moment. Right?
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. I mentioned Chappell winning Best New Artist. That's my favorite category every year. So I'm so glad to see that she won it, especially because it was such a stacked category, which is so great. But she really took the time to call out to music labels and the industry on providing proper health insurance and proper rights for up and coming artists, which we know it's Chappell. She likes to speak out about the things that are important to her. So for her to take that moment was really sweet.
Leading up to the Grammys, she had said, like, I don't know what I'm going to say, but it'll probably be controversial. I actually didn't feel like it was controversial at all.
Absolutely
I thought she just really used her moment well, and to speak to an issue that is obviously so close to her and so real for her. And she was saying, labels, you need to do better with developing artists. And I think for a lot of people that aren't familiar with that, it was like, labels.
Yeah,
you do. You do need to do better.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will spark something, or maybe other artists will start to speak out now too, and then, gets the ball rolling for actually making those changes.
Yeah, and you can see that already just with, like, Benson Boone immediately was on his feet, like, cheering her on as soon as she said that. So you did a flip. He did a flip. He's like, pay artists or I'll keep flipping. But yeah, it was just cool to see that. And I do like that people have who take their moments that are for them and they give it to someone else, and they know that the world is watching, so they really want to get that message across. I think Doechii did a really good job too when she was talking to all the girls out there that want to make it in the industry. It was such a great positive pep talk. I loved it.
Well, and I love when you can tell that the artists are genuinely excited and genuinely, like when Doechii won, the look on her face, like there's no faking that.
No,
you know?
Same for Beyonce
like,
with Country album. That
like,
was so funny.
So exciting. And then you also have like Kendrick Lamar, and he's up there, and they were like, we swept it. Like they, there's pictures of him after, just with like a whole armful of Grammys. It was a great night. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was really long.
It was very long. It always is very long, but that's what the Grammys are. They got to get all those performances in there.
Yeah,
which I'm glad that they do. But yeah, Kendrick winning all those awards too was so a little surprising that he won every category that he was nominated in, but well deserved from him. He did a great job. So yeah,
they were just like, we swept it. We did it. I thought Trevor Noah did a great job. Mm-hmm. Shakira's performance was really fun too. Like, how does she dance like that? Like,
how does she look like that? She's 48.
She is. Yeah, no, I know.
She looks so watching, incredible.
And I was like, Shakira looks 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's I look like I could be her mother. And she's out there, 48 years old. Yeah.
It's so great. And her boys were there supporting her, which was so sweet to see. I love when they bring their kids along with them to experience it. Like Blue Ivy sitting next to her parents.
Well, and Alicia Keys had her son next to it, and he looked like her like security. It was so cute.
He always does.
In his little suit. It was adorable. And like you could see him like hyping her up too. Like she would say things and he was just like, yeah, like that's my mom. So I'd love to see it.
Billie Eilish.
Yes.
Did not win.
I know, but Billie Eilish, it's not like this speaks to any, like she has won so many Grammys. She has set Grammy records for being so young when she won so many Grammys. So I mean, I think this year maybe wasn't her year, but it wasn't because her album wasn't very good. It was because this was such a stacked year for the Grammys. But when they showed her at the end and she was crying, I was like, is she crying happy tears for others, or is she crying? And then I couldn't look at her.
Oh, she just looked, well, I thought that too. I was like, maybe she's just really happy for everyone, but it looked like sad crying, like when you don't want to cry but you can't help it and the tears are coming. That's how she looked. So I hope that she's feeling okay, because she is so beloved and her fans love her so much, and she does have a lot of Grammys at home already. So.
Yeah, it's not like she's not gonna get another chance to stand on that Grammy stage. She absolutely is. So watching her last night, I thought like, well, I would be crying too. Yeah. So I get being disappointed for sure, especially when you had a bunch of nominations. But no, we're gonna be seeing Billie Eilish.
It's Billie Eilish. She's gonna be around forever. Yeah. So I was a little surprised that she was snubbed, because Birds of a Feather is just such a great song. Yeah. So I really did think that would take home something. But again,
it was such a big. There was so much good this year. Yeah. That's what was cool though. I didn't find the Grammy super predictable last night, because I was like, I really didn't know. Other than I figured Chappell Roan was gonna win Best New Artist, but other than that, I was like, oh, I don't know which way this is gonna go. And then big twist. The Weeknd was there.
The Weeknd showed up, which was surprising because that was not announced, so everyone was just surprised. But The Weeknd has some ongoing history with the Grammys.
Yes.
He 4 years ago started boycotting the Grammys after his album After Hours didn't receive a single nomination, which was so shocking because Blinding Lights is one of the biggest songs of the last few decades.
Yes, and it wasn't just like a tantrum over it not being nominated. It was because he felt like they weren't transparent enough about the voting process. Right. He felt like they needed to be clearer. He also felt like they needed to change the way that they choose who can vote on the Grammys.
Right.
And then the fact that, they gave a big speech this year and they said, like, we made tons of changes. It's more diverse now. There's more women, there's younger voters, all of these things. And the fact that he was there speaks to the fact that, like, he obviously approves of the changes.
Totally. So it'll be interesting to see if he then submits his music again for the Grammys, because he had stopped sending in his submissions for consideration.
And I also really liked his tribute to Canada, because he showed up wearing his best winter coat.
He did.
He showed up wearing his finest winter coat.
In Los Angeles. Yes. Yeah, he really was reminding everyone where he was from.
So he was like, don't forget, I'm from Toronto and it's cold there now.
And it's cold right now. There's snow on the ground. What was also so fun to see at the Grammys are just the celebrities interacting with each other in the audience. And also when they pan over to them during performances, you can see who's standing and dancing and getting all crazy.
Do you do this one though? I like when they pan to the crowd, I'm like, who's sitting with each other?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm like, which table do I want to sit at?
Yeah, I'm like, who's next to who?
Yeah, Taylor Swift is she's always dancing. She's always having a good time.
She's always having some drinks. I always feel like this is like a night off for her, So this is when she gets to enjoy herself, hang out with her friends.
It's actually easy for her.
Yeah, just to show up.
Oh, the Grammys?
Oh, a night off.
Casual.
So it was cool to see her interact interacting with other artists. Sabrina Carpenter came running to her at one point. She had a little holding space moment with Cynthia Erivo where she grabbed her finger, which was so iconic. And it was cool too just to see like Billie in the audience singing along to Guess, which she features on with Chappell Roan with Charlie XCX while Charlie was performing, which was kind of weird that Billie didn't join her for that performance.
No, I was surprised by that too.
Yeah, but it was cool to see her in the audience. She was really going hard. So yeah, it was really fun to see that.
So no, super fun show overall. I thought it was a great year. I think they have some, they've set the bar high for themselves for next year.
They really, really have. So thank you so much for watching. Let us know what your favorite moment from the Grammys is. You can let us know in the comments down below. Check out our broadcast channel on Instagram. Follow us on all the socials, and we'll see you next year.
Now I'm going to do my flip.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to The Filter, an iHeart Podcasts Canada production. Subscribe to The Filter wherever you get your podcasts.